What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to FudgeMuppet. It's Scott here, and today we are looking at the lockpicking skill tree and all of the lockpicking perks in Skyrim and asking the question, are they worth it? Well, let's talk about that. So we've got Novice Locks, Apprentice Locks, these are sort of the self-explanatory ones, but let's look at the branch to the left that we have from Apprentice Locks. We've got Quick Hands, and we've got Wax Key. Quick Hands, able to pick locks without being noticed. I don't think it's that great, mainly because most of the time it's very easy to sneak and lockpick something without being noticed because of your sneak skill, and most of the time you're in positions where you can actually just sort of sit down and sneak and be out of view. Besides that, it's a pretty crappy perk, to be honest, because you're either sneaking or if you're not sneaking and it's not important, like you're opening just a chest or something in a dungeon or something, it doesn't matter if you get seen, and you wouldn't be getting seen because you're in a dungeon. Anyway, Quick Hands just basically isn't worth it, and I think Wax Key is also a pretty thing. It basically automatically gives you a copy of a picked locks key if it has one. Also, don't think it's fantastically worth it or anything either. If we move up to Adept Locks and look at the branch to the left, we've got two perks here that sound really good, but they're not actually that good. So we've got Golden Touch adds 20 to 100 gold to generic dungeon chests and 2 to 10 gold to many types of dead bodies and urns and random stuff. So while it does add a little bit of gold to everywhere, it's actually just, I wouldn't waste a perk point on it, is my personal opinion. You'd be better putting those points into speech or just whatever other skill you use to get more money, because a lot of the money you get in Skyrim is from selling stuff. So you might think that Treasure Hunter is really good, which gives you a 50% greater chance of finding special treasure. But what this actually does, it increases the chance from 10 to 15%. So the percentage is actually still very small because it's adding 50% more chance to the percentage that already exists, which is 10. So it makes it 15% more likely to find like one extra weapon or armor, possibly enchanted. It's not that fantastic that I'd rush to get it. Now, there's also Expert Locks, and there's also Master Locks. Now, I want to just briefly talk about Locksmith and Unbreakable too. So you do have Locksmith, which makes it start closer to the position, like the pick, so it's easier to open things. And then you've got Unbreakable, which means you'll never break a lock, so you can just run around with one lockpick forever. It's really cool, and there's two ways I do this and that you could do this. You could actually go up to Expert Locks, then gets Locksmith and Unbreakable, and you can just, for convenience sake, and you'll only ever have one pick, and it's sort of easy to open everything. But on the contrary, if you're actually being careful with perks, you're actually better off going Novice, Apprentice, Adept, Expert, and then Master. Mainly because there's just so many lockpicks around, and you get access to so many lockpicks, and you can find heaps, that you should just have like over 100 lockpicks. And unless you're going to break 100 lockpicks at like every single Expert or Master lock, which with a high skill level and those perks, it should be pretty easy. So I don't really think that you ever need to have like Unbreakable so you never break a lockpick, because that's going to cost you 2 perk points. You got to get through Locksmith and Unbreakable, and you could get Master. But you know what I'd even say? Here's my absolute personal recommendation. For worth it videos like these, I'm talking about the most sort of mega gamed, sort of really particular, savvy with all your perks, like not spending any that you don't need to. I would say just go Novice, Apprentice, Adept, and Expert. And mainly because you'll come across enough Expert, but Master Locks, they're very rare. And then when you do eventually come to one, you can actually sit there and, break a few picks and spend a bit of time opening it, but it's not worth getting a whole perk, I think, separately for it. Now, what I think of the entire thing as a whole, like, should you even bother with Novice, Apprentice, Adept, Expert? I think if you're playing a thief character, or even if you've just got a lot of perks spare, it's always neat. It just speeds up the game, and it does give you access to some extra loot and gets you into some areas. To be honest, a lot of the time you don't really need you don't need lockpicking perk investment. A lot of the time, what's behind locks is, some extra loot, which can be good, but a lot of the time it's just like, get through this door or, open this chest and it's got like 10 gold and a orcish longsword. It's like, that's cool, but yeah, I don't know. I think there's plenty of chests and loot that's accessible without having to go into lockpicking. So overall, are the locksmithing perks worth it? I'd say if you're going for a thief or a really like hardcore treasure hunter, of course there's role-playing reasons and stuff, but if you're going to get the bare minimum, Novice, Apprentice, Adept, and Expert. Then you can also go to Master Locks or Locksmith and Unbreakable if you're feeling like that extra bit of investment, though it's not necessary. Golden Touch isn't great because it doesn't really add that much extra gold, and Treasure Hunter only changes it from 10 to 15% chance to find an extra weapon or armor, which can be enchanted, so it's really not that crash hot. And like I said, Quick Hands and Wax Key, in my opinion, are a complete waste of time. Anyways, that's what I think of all the locksmithing perks. I don't know, you tell me what you think. List down below what you would like to see, what particular perk trees you'd like us to have a look at. And yeah, that's just about it. I'm Scott from FudgeMuppet, and I'll see you next time.